lore accurate is Saber in Honkai Star? Yes, not only is she pretty strong, she has some really cool references to her actual kit in FGO. From the names of her skills to how her abilities work. So here's an ADHD guide to Saber that'll make her super easy to understand in the shortest time possible. If you're looking for a quick bare minimum guide to get you amazing results, this guide is for you. But if you want to one cycle optimize your Saber, you might want to try another video. We'll be covering how to Saber, whether pull Saber, how team Saber, how build Saber, and finally, whether whale Saber. Did you know Saber has the most expensive ult in Honkai Star? But don't worry, because the first thing you need to understand about Saber is that she kind of has two ult bars. She has a regular ult bar that's green, and she has a separate number right here that can be converted into ult charge. It's called core resonance. How do you get core resonance? 4 ways. Her technique gives 3, her skill gives 3, her enhanced basic attack gives 2, and most importantly, any teammate ult gives 3. Okay, but how do you convert core resonance into actual ult charge? It's a bit weird. You can only convert it when there's enough core resonance to fully charge Saber's ult. When this finally happens, just use Saber's skill to convert it. And if you overcharge your ult, it actually carries on to her next ult. Okay, so we charged Saber's ult using her skill and core resonance. Now what? After ult, Saber's next turn will be an enhanced basic attack. Oh, and one last thing. Did you know Saber has a way of regenerating skill points for her team? After using her technique, she gains the mana burst effect, which basically means when her core resonance becomes enough to fully charge her ult, she will give her team 1 skill point and be brought forward to immediately take action. You can refresh her mana burst after every ultimate by using her enhanced basic attack. So her gameplay loop will look like this. Skill with Saber whenever possible. Ult as much as you can with other teammates to get core resonance. When you have enough core resonance, Saber will get brought forward by mana burst. Then skill to consume core resonance and get when it's a turn, do enhanced basic attack to get mana burst again and repeat. Saber also has some really huge self buffs to take note of. Her skill gives an extra 50% crit damage for 2 turns. But since you should always be skilling with Saber, except for that one enhanced basic attack, this buff should be perma-active. She also gains an extra 32% crit damage after gaining at least 8 core resonance in battle, which you should get very quickly even before your first ult. And once that happens, it stays for the entire battle. Teammate ultimates buff Saber's damage by 60% for 2 turns, which should be happening frequently enough to always be active, meaning all these buffs pretty much have 100% uptime, and Saber gets 82% crit damage for free. By the way, if you like this video, please subscribe. It's completely free, and if you decide I smell later down the line, you can always unsubscribe. So how good is Saber exactly? It's a lot like her strength in FGO. Not the most broken DPS, but strong enough to clear endgame content with sufficient investment. But should you pull her for your account? Let's look at my shitty rubric. Strength. Saber can definitely clear endgame content, especially if you use her with a premium teammate. However, she doesn't strike me as an insane zero cycling machine, so she gets a solid 2. Saber's teams are actually quite limited. You'll see why. So unfortunately, her versatility is a 1. F2P friendliness. While Saber herself doesn't require Eidolons or even her signature lightcone to perform, she does require a lot of premium teammates. This gives her a rating of 1.5. She does get the bonus point for ease of use because she's actually SP positive thanks to her mana burst effect and her enhanced basic attack. So her total pull rating would be a 6.5 out of 10. But keep in mind that once Saber's banner is gone after the next 3 patches, she might not come back forever. If you like her and want a solid DPS, she's not a bad pickup for your account. But I wouldn't say she's a must-pull, as there are many other DPSs that could perform similarly with less premium teammates. Take a shot every time I say premium teammates. Yep, Saber requires a lot of premium 5-star teammates because she wants teammates that can 1. Help Saber get ult charge, or 2. Help her team spam ults so Saber can get more core resonance. This means her best teammate will once again be Sunday Funday because of his action forwarding and his ultimate that can also give Saber ult charge, and Wowo for sustain because the ult gives everyone ult charge. Saber also really likes teammates like Robin, Tribby, and for more FTP options, Tingyun, RFC, and Gallagher. So here are some examples of what Saber's premium team would look like. Saber, Sunday, Tribby, and Wowo, where Tribby acts as a pretty good buffer and sub DPS since she attacks after every ult. Saber, Sunday, Robin, and Wowo, because Robin allows everyone to have more turns, which translates to more ults and more core resonance. A more FTP friendly team would look something like Saber, Sunday, Tingyun, or RMC, followed by Gallagher for sustain. A fully FTP team, although I highly wouldn't recommend this, would be Saber, Tingyun, RMC, and Gallagher. But how do you build Saber? Saber's best light cone is the signature, giving extra crit damage and refunding 10% of her ultimate, which helps a ton in getting her next ult. It's about a 22% damage increase over her best FTP light cone. That's actually super solid for her. S5 on the fall of an Eon, which you can purchase for free over time from Herta's shop. Here are some other light cones you can use if you happen to have them lying around, or if your fall of an Eon is being hogged by another DPS. As for relics, her best relic set is Wave Strider Captain or the Scholar set. There's a very minor difference in performance between the two, so just use whichever gives her better stats. Speaking of stats, here are the main stats you want to focus on when building your Saber. You want to prioritize crit rate over crit damage because Saber has a lot of crit damage built into her kit. This means we want a crit rate body. For boots, you can either go speed or attack depending on what speed you're aiming for. I'll explain later. Her best ball and rope set would be one of these four. Firmament and Space Sealing Station is slightly better than the rest, but it's like a 1% difference, so I personally wouldn't bother. For her ball, you can either go wind or attack, with wind being ever so slightly better. It's a very minor difference again. And for her rope, you might think that energy recharge is better, but that's only if it gives her more ultimates, which is rarely the case. So really, just go for attack. These are the stats you want to aim for outside of battle. Keep in mind that in battle, Saber can give herself 50% more crit damage on her skill and up to 82% crit damage on her ultimate. For her speed, you at least want to get her to the speed breakpoint of 134. But really, the most ideal situation would be to have Saber at 135 and Sunday at 134, so that Saber can act first and be pulled forward again by Sunday. Another alternative would be to not give a shit about her speed and just make your Sunday 160 speed, which is super difficult, so just build the 135 speed. And finally, should you invest in Saber's Eidolons? Or should you get her light cone? Fortunately or unfortunately, Saber's Eidolons are not very good. They're not complete as, they're just not as good as the early Eidolons that Honkai Style has been releasing recently. Her E1 increases her ult damage by 60% and makes her skill give one more core resonance. It's kinda mid, only a 3% increase over E0 S1 Saber. Her E2 is slightly better, allowing her to ignore enemies' defense and increasing the damage multiplier of a skill based on the number of core resonance consumed. It's a 14% increase over E1 S1. Her E4 just increases her wind resistance penetration. Yeah, really mid. And only her E6 is actually good, allowing Saber to enter battle with her ultimate almost fully charged, getting her ultimate much faster. And she can do this every 3 ultimates. She also has a bigger overcharged battery reserve and gains wind resistance penetration, a whopping 151% gain over E0 Saber. But as always, pull for her if you like her. Just make sure to manage your funds well. Alright, subscribe.